In today's video, I am going to be breaking down how you can beat a 1-3-1 half-court trap. I'm going to be able to give you a couple of different options to run, and if you ever coach against BCP, Brampton City Prep, then guess what? You are going to be able to use this against their coveted zone trap as well. So let's get down, or at least the first play. Let's get down, let's check this out, but really quickly, if you want a deadly, easy defense to run, make sure to go check out my complete guide to the 5-out offense, but also make sure to go check out my deadly defensive strategies book so that you can have your own deadly defensive strategies yourself. Okay, so this is how you're going to basically set it up. You don't necessarily have to have your bigs up top. They could be down here. It doesn't matter. All you need to have is your ball handler in the middle. You need to have a man in each corner, and you have to have a man on each sideline. So basically, you want to be able to try and bait player one to play right at half court. If you can do that, then you can quickly pass over to one of these players along the sideline. Let's say, for example, we pass over to player 4. If they are trapping up top, which some teams will do, that will lift player 3 up. This will start to shift player 4 over and player 2 to drop. When this happens, this next pass has to be fast. This player over here, player 4, he could take one dribble towards half court. However, he needs to be able to make this pass to player 2 as fast as possible. Because now, that's going to be shifting the defense, where now player 4 is going to trap with player 3. Player 5 is generally going to go over towards this post. Player 1 is going to then shift down. And when all of this is happening, you are going to have player 5 cut from that weak side 45, and player 3 is going to lift. This is going to give player 2 two different options to hit. This is going to be either to player 5 for a layup, or it's going to be out to player 3 for the 3-point shot, or because you just beat their defense, because now player 2 and 1 have to try and shift over towards this side. Player 5 needs to shift, and player 4 needs to get into that low post. Well, now we can just make that pass down to player 5 for the layup, or player 3 could drive or dribble towards the left side pass to player 5, or he could drive. This is shifting the defense once again, where now we can continue through, hammer pass out to player 2 for a 3-point shot on the other side. And now we have just beat the coveted 1-3-1 half-court trap. Some keys to take away from this is you need to be able to get that ball to the sideline first, and then you need to advance it up the sideline as fast as possible. If the ball is on, let's say, the left side, the weak side 45 has to cut as fast as possible. This is the main key to beating the 1-3-1 trap. Now, passing in general, you're going to be able to beat any kind of trap quite easily. It doesn't necessarily matter how exactly you're beating it, but if you can pass the ball fast, you're going to be able to beat the trap. So if you can beat the trap, you're going to be super successful. It all just comes down to passing instead of dribbling. Now, another way that I love to be able to beat a 1-3-1 is I have 2 guards up top spread apart, because that is going to force player 1 to one side or the other. I like to also have somebody in the middle and, of course, players in the corners. Player 1 is going to have essentially 3 options. He can pass to 5, he can pass across to player 2, or if it's open, which it generally is not 99% of the time, he could also pass to player 3. What I would like to do is to try and shift the defense, because this is generally how it's going to be shifted. And then I would like to be able to make that pass quickly to player 2. And now player 2 has to make the decision quick. Is he going to hit player 5? Or is he going to pass to player 4? He needs to be able to make the decision between these 2 players extremely quickly. If the pass goes to player 5, we have beat the zone. Player 5 can dribble out and we can set up our 5-out offense. Now, they're obviously going to continue to try and trap and things like that, but at this time, we have beat their trap. We can now set up our zone offense. Or if they switch into a man, as some teams will do, just to confuse you, then you can run your man offense. Now, let's get this back to where they were, which is generally like this. Instead, let's say player 2 passes to player 4. Well, when that pass happens, player 4 needs to drive right away, because this is going to shift the defense like this. Player 2 has a long distance to be able to cover on defense. For player 3 to cut, this is going to be an easy layup every single time. So make sure to check out my Unbeatable Basketball Zone Defense book if you want a killer defense. Also, the Deadly Defensive Strategies book. Those two books combined are absolutely deadly. But the Deadly Defensive Strategies book is another one to grab. And if you want a simple offense, the 5-out is one of the easiest and also most complex that you could run, because you can make it as easy as you want or as hard as you want. So definitely go check out those books, and I'll see you guys again in my next video. Those books are down in the description below.